Welcome to the Salim Sports channel. I'm your host Salim Akhtar Malik. In this video, I'll talk to you about the Battle of Longewala. In 1971 India-Pakistan War, air power played a significant role in the Battle of Longewala, where the Indian Air Force harassed a Pakistani infantry brigade group, which was 51 infantry brigade with 22 cavalry under command. This force was launched into action without air cover and was without even troop-carrying vehicles for the infantry. I say this with certainty because my unit was part of the attacking brigade, and due to the unavailability of troop-carrying vehicles, we commandeered tractor trolleys from the locals for transportation of infantry. Moving those trolleys over the dunes, that is the sand dunes, was a nightmare. So they were abandoned well short of the international border. Indian Air Force action disabled 50% of our tanks, which were around 20, and many vehicles carrying ammunition and petrol oil lubricants. Many surviving vehicles had to be abandoned as they got bogged down in deep sand. Questioning Indian Army's claims about repulsing the Pakistani attack with a company strength, that is around 100 infantrymen, along with a recoilless rifle, Harinder Baweja, an Indian journalist, asks in an article that how could a company minus, along with a lone recoilless rifle, stop an infantry brigade group? More than 3 decades later, the Indian Army and Indian Air Force were locked in a battle over which service should get the credit for repulsing the Pakistani attack. Baweja writes that the Indian 12th Infantry Division had not even expected trouble on this western part of the border. The likelihood of a Pakistani infantry brigade with an armor regiment crossing the international border and advancing deep inside Indian territory was unpalatable for the Indian Army top brass. Instead, they had labored over an extensive counter-offensive plan to cross into Pakistan and advance up to Rahim Yar Khan. The opposite happened. Indian Air Force claims that there was no ground battle at Longewala, the subject of an Indian blockbuster movie. It was their show all the way, and India escaped humiliation because of the four hunters that, according to Indian Air Force, blunted the Pakistani thrust entirely by air action. Rebutting the Indian Army's narrative, the War Diary of Indian Air Force 14 Care and Maintenance Unit based at Jaisalmer records that on 4th December 1971, when the 12th Division was building up in its concentration area for an advance towards Rahim Yar Khan, the enemy sneaked in with an infantry brigade and an armor regiment from Gabbar towards Longewala. The leading Pakistani tanks bypassed Longewala and were seen advancing towards Ramgarh past midnight. The Pakistani movement was passed by the company commander, that is the Indian company commander at Longewala, to 12th Division headquarters via his battalion headquarters. But the same appeared to be discarded. According to Baweja, the advancing Pakistani tank column reached the outskirts of Ramgarh but had to recoil as it had lost contact with its rear. The force thus withdrew to Longewala. At Longewala, the Indian company commander again reported to the division headquarters that more Pakistani tanks were rolling in. On receipt of this message, the general officer commanding 12 Indian Division tried to get through to the base commander at Jaisalmer, but he found that Pakistani Mujahids had cut the telephone line at Ramgarh. The radio relay link was established between the general officer commanding and the base commander at the Jaisalmer Air Force Station of Indian Air Force in the early hours of 5th December 1971. At around 7:15 a.m., the Pakistani infantry brigade group was engaged by the Indian Air Force aircraft. As a result of the Pakistani raid, the 12th Division's offensive operation, that is Operation Daredevil, was postponed till the Indians, smarting over what would have happened if the Pakistani force had entered Ramgarh, regained balance. Ramgarh, we are told, was without any defenses whatsoever. World Wrestling Entertainment, that is WWE, is an American professional wrestling promotion. The 1971 war, particularly the Longewala battle, was like American professional wrestling. Although WWE matches often appear grueling, with wrestlers taking dangerous bumps and practiced falls, most of the in-ring action is carefully choreographed. Wrestlers are actors first and athletes second. They memorize scripts and wrestle with each other to pull off convincing stunts without getting seriously hurt. That was more applicable to the Indian side. Like at WWE, the Pakistani Infantry Brigade group was launched into the battle without proper equipment and air cover, providing the Indian Army an excuse to bluster that Longewala was a 20th century equivalent of the Battle of Cannae.